at school and suddenly talk about it, but you know enough to tell me I should be killed.
What's the punishment for treason? I'm curious what you think about treason.
Actually, I am asking about this girl, sir. Do you think how much this is Islamic for a woman to be stoned?
No
simply they criticize Muhammad and then burned.
No clue what this was, and if that's what happened, that doesn't sound like it was a good thing. I'm asking you what you think about treason.
that sound doesn't look a good thing.
I'm sorry?
So if your prophet is quite happy for
Did you say she
someone,
was burned?
No, this is what
if
happened.
you are quite happy for your...
She said, I don't accept Muhammad as a messenger, and he's not my messenger, and she was killed for it, and that's wrong. And I'm trying to explain to her, you can't bring anecdotal stories, I can do the same thing, I can do the same thing, and it doesn't make sense, and it's not going to get anywhere, is it?
If you want to talk about the basis, that's why I'm asking you about treason.
Okay, yeah,
How do you feel about treason?
that's what I'm asking.
Yes,
so thank you for bringing it up. I read it the hadith again. I want someone to explain this to me.
Right before,
no,
sir,
sir, this is what I'm focusing, okay?
And my question
a blind man had a slave mother who used to abuse the prophet and disparage him. So he forbid her and she did not stop. He rebuked her, but she did not give up her habit. One night, she began to slander the prophet and abused him. So he took a dagger, placed on her belly, pressed it and killed her. A child who came between her legs was smeared with the blood that was there. When the morning came, Prophet was informed about it. He sat before the Prophet and said, Messenger of Allah, I am her master. She used to abuse you and disparage you. I don't know how to read this word, but this word is disparage you. I forbid her, but she did not stop. And I rebuke her, but she did not abandon her habit. I have 2 sons, like pearls from her, and she's my companion. Last night, she began to abuse and disparage you. So I took a dagger and put on her belly and pressed it until I killed her. Thereupon the Prophet said, Oh, be witness, no retaliation is payable for her blood. What do you think about it?
Do you have the Arabic here?
Yeah.
And the great, can I hold it?
I'll hold it.
I'm not running off.
I have got 3 times my books are being stolen from me. I hold it.
Okay. You put holes on it. Okay. Do you have references?
Yeah.
I want to look up the reference.
Arabic is your mother tongue?
Who said there were holes in the Quran?
I'm sorry?
That who is the speaker?
Yasir Qadi?
Yasir Qadi.
So what Yasir Qadi said what?
He said about the
Anyway,
holes
let's look at this one.
That's not what Yasir Qadi said. And so what if Yasir Qadi said that?
I've seen that with Yasir Qadi.
And he said there are holes in the Quran.
He said there are holes
Brother?
in the Quran.
Brother?
Word for word, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
Okay, so if I don't accept Yasir Qadi, whatever he says, then what?
Okay, let's look at...
You don't accept him, you decide with the rest of his theology.
I decide what?
It throws into doubt other things he has to say.
Yeah, but he's
Yasir
not
Qadi,
infallible,
okay, so
and
what?
he's not infallible.
Well, you don't care. That's all right. That's all right by you. You can make your own decision.
Do you follow any specific religion? Do you have an alignment with a religious belief?
I wonder
But-
if you could guess.
Brother, is that okay? Brother, is that okay if I just first deal with
Yes,
this one and then we
sorry.
deal with the preservation of the Quran? Do you believe Quran is being preserved?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we can deal with that soon after
Define-
this one. Is that okay?
define preservation.
Yeah, we will talk about it once we finish this one.
I can't even get telephone numbers on mine.
So which website did you go to, sir?
1 minute, I'm reading.
Islam QA?
Why? Is there
No,
an
just
issue?
asking. No, just asking because I've got hadith here. So I'm just curious, where do you go to search for it?
Did you assume I'm on a specific website?
It's a website, that's not the hadith
Yeah, but
website.
it's run by a sheikh who explains it.
So therefore I asked, like, which website did you go to?
I'll tell you once I'm finished reading.
Okay.
There's a lot, so give me a couple of minutes.
Anyone want a cup of tea?
Every time I look at her, I just laugh. I don't know. She's funny.
Allah doesn't like those who are joyful. Be careful.
You're funny. You're funny.
According to Quran, don't love. You are Christians.
Every time I look at you, I just laugh. I don't know why. You look stupid. Yeah. No disrespect.
Your mother know you talk to people?
Yes, she does. My mother's dead, actually.
Yeah, خلاص. Oh, we're proud of this. I just want to make sure she's telling the truth. That's all.
He's dead. He died. Car crash.
Oh, were they both together?
Yes.
Do you have any
No.
You looked to me that you
Okay, so the hadith is
I don't have
sahih.
any, right?
Hadith is
So
Sahih.
what's the question about the hadith? What did you ask me originally about the
So
hadith?
can you tell me what is happening in the Hadith?
She was killed for treasonous acts against the Prophet Muhammad.
Sorry,
sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
what she did?
She went against the Prophet
How?
and she was killed for it.
How?
She made kufr. We believe in
No, how
that
did she?
made kufr.
No. Explain that to me. How did she
What
went
is-
against
what is the-
Muhammad?
What does the hadith say?
No,
You read it to me.
you explain it to me. So it shouldn't be that difficult for you to explain the words you are using.
So if it's difficult for me, can't you explain it? It says here that she went against the Prophet. Isn't that
So
what
how
you read?
did she went against Prophet?
She was slandering Prophet. If the hadith, does the hadith not say it?
So you didn't? Did you listen when I read it?
I'm sorry, I might have misheard.
Okay, I read it again.
That's slander.
I read
Slander
it.
the Prophet.
Okay, so she slandered the Prophet, therefore she's been killed. Is that okay?
The hadith is sahih. This is our Prophet. If you find any honest Muslim, he's going to say whatever the Prophet ﷺ did is okay.
Okay.
That's a command from Allah. He has
Should
wahi.
this
Khalas.
be? So she's been slandering Muhammad, abused. It simply says she slandered and abused him.
Okay.
So, 7th century,
We
people.
also-
7th century, people are being killed for that. Should that be practiced in 21st century?
It says that she abused him. How did she abuse him? Do you know?
I'm
'Cause
asking
I
you.
don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
From
so-
this context, and then what he says to the Prophet, I'm just assuming it's the verbal abuse. Okay?
So if
That's
you're
what I'm
saying If someone
assuming.
did that in the 21st century now.
So this is
Where?
in 7th century.
Yeah, I
In,
understand.
so in 7th century, Muhammad is okay for people to be killed,
Absolutely.
and he says no retaliation is payable for her blood.
Okay.
Should this be practiced in 21st century?
Right here, right now? Where? In the UK? Where?
In 21st century in general, and then we can break it down. Where should it be
In
practiced?
general, so we don't live in a world with a society that's pure Islamic Sharia run, right?
Okay, so under the Sharia, it should be applicable.
Yes. From my understanding, I'm a layman. I know very little, but from my understanding, we have the hudud, we have the capital punishments in Islam, of course.
Okay.
Not only for this, but other issues as well.
Okay.
Murder. I mean, there-
Marriage, all those kind of things. Yeah.
marriage. What about marriage?
No, like in every part of the life. That's the point I was trying to make. So,
Marriage. Yeah. What does marriage have to do with this?
no worries, I'll come to that. Just wait. So, under the Islamic law, under the Sharia, this should be practiced.
How many?
Let's
This
say,
specifically.
let's say, Sharia took over UK in 40 years, and I'm still Christian.
They came out. No.
And then I said Muhammad is false prophet. He climbed the top of a child. He should be killed. What is the Islamic punishment would be for me? Will that apply to me?
First of all, there's urfi context. So urf is cultural acceptance in the land. Like we saw in other Islamic civilizations, judges, it was up to their discretion where they chose to implement capital punishment or not. So you're asking whether or not they're allowed to in the Sharia context? Sure, but that doesn't mean they have to.
Okay, in Sharia context, they are allowed. So if Sharia takes over UK, I should be concerned for my safety.
You're making big jumps. That's not what I'm saying. You're asking in a
Sir,
hypothetical world.
Sir, if Sharia takes over UK, should I concern for my safety?
Do you want so would you pay? Hold on. So if the Sharia took over the UK, meaning the Muslims established a khilafah here in 40 years, okay, that's number one. It's not probable, whatever. Number two, you're accepting that this has happened. You're okay with living here. You're paying taxes. You're okay with it? Yes. I'm asking you. Yes or no?
So, if
No. I asked you a question.
Listen.
I just asked you a question.
Listen, I'm going to answer your question.
You're
Listen.
gonna answer with another question.
This is already my home, let's say. Okay? Because we are just talking about the scenario. Let's say this is my home. I don't want to leave my home. And as a Christian, under the Sharia, I have to pay something called jizya, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So, let's say, sake of the argument, I said I'm not going to move. I'm going to pay you jizya. Can I say Muhammad is false prophet?
You've already gone against the jizya though. You're contradicting
What
yourself.
is jizya
Part of
for?
the jizya is giving bay'ah, accepting the ruler of the
No,
land, accepting Islam as
Jizya is the
you
money
saying-
I am giving to the Muslims to protect me. So
Okay.
when under the
So you're
Sharia,
telling-
I don't have, under the Sharia, I cannot think what I want to
So
think.
are you saying the jizya is not a contract?
It's not a contract.
Nothing. There's no contractual
no,
agreement.
it is to make Muslims richer and richer and richer and richer.
So wait, what do you get? Madam, what do you get under
Get
the
on the
jizya?
line, get on the line. Just the protection, nothing. I get nothing.
You get protection.
If I pay jizya,
Then you've broken the contract and you've broken the law and you'll be held accountable for it.
so
You'll
I'm
be
not
held accountable
protected.
for it. No, but you've gone
I'm not
against it and you've
protected.
committed a crime.
You came and then take over my
committed a
country.
crime.
Now I need to concern for my
committed
safety.
a crime.
Okay.
But you've committed a crime and you've gone
So-
against it. And you are a troublemaker and you cause more harm. What do you do with a cancer? What do you do with a cancer?
What do you
Someone
do?
who goes.
So I am the cancer in
I
here.
didn't speak about you. Someone who goes.
You called me cancer before.
Wait, I'll use the example of treason. Yeah.
I tried to.
What is the
jumping
treason?
around from treason.
Let's look at
Treason's a
Saudi
perfect
Arabia.
example.
There's a guy called Nimr al-Nimr. Yeah? He went and he called for.
Sorry, just wait that sound to go away.
I don't care about your audio. He said.
Sir, I can't hear when that sound is screaming behind you.
He said that the Saudi kings and this and that, they're bad people and we should rebel against them and everything. And he was killed for that.
Sir,
It's treason.
today
But the same
I
thing
can
applies.
critique the Queen. Today I can critique Boris Johnson. Today I can critique Labour Party.
Yeah, but you live in a
Today I
parliament.
can critique my father. Today I can critique my priest.
No shame.
Why I cannot critique
Because we
Muhammad?
don't think that's an acceptable approach to living. That's
Why?
Because that's wrong. We
But
think that's wrong.
what about this one? Is this acceptable?
Listen, if you're so tolerant and everything, what do you even stand for? If I'm not
Is this-
mistaken,
is
you
this
even showed a
acceptable?
picture of Jesus, didn't you?
Can you
showed
read
a,
this for me?
cartoon of Jesus, didn't you?
You're gonna jump from thing to thing.
No,
to
no,
thing
no,
to
I'm
thing
just
to
trying
thing.
to figure out,
I'm
sir.
telling you,
Sir,
treason.
is
we
this
don't accept
acceptable?
treason. Do you
Is
accept treason?
this acceptable?
We're
What
still
is your
talking
point?
about
What are you trying to make?
Islam is evil.
Okay.
Islam is
Okay.
Islam
bad.
is evil.
You know what?
Islam is very
Okay.
evil.
Okay, go.
It is very evil, and every non-Muslims and also Muslims should concern if Islam comes into power.
Okay.
We should all be concerned. While Islam is not in power,
Define
people
power.
are already
Define power.
concerned for their safety.
Where is power?
While Islam is not in power, people are being burned. While Islam is not in power, people are being beheaded.
Have you seen how many
While
Iraqis
Islam
are
is
dead?
in
Have you seen
power,
how many
while Islam is
Palestinians
not
are
in
dead?
power,
Did you see how many
people are
Muslims
still
are dead?
hiding.
Have you seen what happened in
and
China?
that's Islam is not in
No,
power.
she's-
Therefore,
What
we
empire-
should
I hear what
we
you're
should
saying. I hear what you're
concern
saying. What empire has the most blood on their hands? What empire?
Islam.
Oh, that's hilarious. 'cause
I
you live-
know.
You
It
live
is
under the empire that has
hilarious.
the most blood under their hands.
Islam.
That's really ironic that you say that because you're living in the UK. I assume you live here. I don't live here actually. I'm visiting from the US. The UK has the most blood on their hands
I
in
thought
any
it was
civilization in
US.
history.
So you moved to US so that have the freedom?
No.
Because freedom
Actually,
Saudi
I wa-
Arabia is not giving
No,
to
I
you.
was born in the US.
So,
My parents are converts. That's really funny that you think that. Yeah.
isn't that amazing? By itself, it's double amazing.
That my parents became Muslim because Christianity they didn't believe in and they chose to become Muslims.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
So
really,
what happens if they decided to not become a Muslim tomorrow?
If tomorrow they decided, they would be called murtad. If they left
So what will
Islam.
happen to them? So what is that
Are you
term
asking
means?
me or do you know? Are
What
you
is
trying to
what
lead
is
into
that
another
term
point?
means?
Murtad,
Yeah, what
they
does
left
that mean?
Islam. They left Islam.
Term like apostate? Is it the same thing?
Apostate, yeah,
Apostate. So what is the
I don't like
what
to
is
talk
the
about this
punishment?
hypothetical with my own parents. Please
So
don't
what?
use my parents.
So if your parents,
I don't wanna think about my
if your
parents. I don't
parents
wanna think
becomes
this way about my
chooses to
parents.
become
Yeah? Okay.
as they chooses to become a Muslim, if they chooses to become non-Muslim,
Again, it's like treason.
what will happen?
In America or where?
What will happen under the
In
Islam?
America, nothing will happen.
Under
to them.
Islam.
They're held under the accountability of what God's judgment is because they live in America.
Under Islam.
There's-
No, I'm asking under Islam.
What is under Islam? What? Under
What
Islam,
is the Sharia teaches about apostates?
So we're talking again about another hypothetical
Brother,
Sharia.
can you make sure you are next to Asif, please? Sorry, just a second.
A little present for you.
Thank you.
We'll speak about it later.
Thank you.
It's a Muslim Messiah.
Yeah, Ahmadiyya Muslims.
A Muslim Messiah. That's
Ahmadiyya Muslims?
exactly.
You know the Ahmadiyya Muslims?
I don't consider them Muslim. No.
Okay,
the
so
vast
Ahmadiyya
majority
group.
of Sunni Muslims don't accept.
Yeah, okay,
Ahmadiyya.
so that's Ahmadiyya's
Okay.
leaflet.
Again. So you're talking about another hypothetical?
Yeah,
or
in that
under-
hypothetical thing,
Yeah.
what will happen if your family decides to not be Muslim anymore? Or what
Why
will
talk
happen
about
to you?
family?
Yeah,
And
it's-
anyone who apostates under the Sharia, there's 4 different opinions, right? So there's 4 different main schools, the Sunni schools. Imam Abu Hanifa says that you shouldn't be killed, but you should be thrown in prison. But Imam Ahmed criticized him. So Imam Ahmed, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i all agree they should be killed. Because again, it's active treason.
So
And
what
again-
does
again,
what
see,
so
action
what
has to
does
do with-
Islam teach us
Has
by
to do with-
itself?
Is it an outward? Is it an outward action?
And there's a process to it. There's 3 days where he sits with a scholar.
Yeah,
And he goes through every single
three
doubt.
days you've got time to repent. That's
And
that's
he's a-
very
and he's
generous.
right.
That's very
It is
generous.
very generous.
Very
Yeah.
generous.
What is your name?
I'm sorry.
What is your name?
I'm gonna stay anonymous for.
Okay, I'll call you Mr. Muslim.
Thank you.
So you expressed.
And wait, one more
So
thing.
you already
Can I say
expressed
one more
that there
thing?
is a death penalty for apostasy. I got that point.
Every action has consequences.
Do you think
Someone
we're
who says-
ashamed of this? I'm
someone-
confused.
we're
You're
not
trying to like
ashamed.
catch us in. That's a sad thought. That's a
So
sad
on
thought.
the topic, where is gentleman, sir?
Yes.
You were asking the question on the preservation of the Quran. So do you,
Now we jumped. Okay.
You jumped
so I finished the conversation.
No,
you,
no,
I already heard what you already
You're
told me,
getting
sir.
really like riled up with us. If we jump to a point that we think is relevant and it's not, you pull us back very quickly. And now you're doing the
Actually,
exact
it's
same thing.
speaker's corner, so you have right to speak about anything you
Oh,
want to
absolutely.
speak.
But I'm
Yeah.
being consistent with the way you're approaching the conversation. You're being inconsistent.
No, so I wanted to make a case
Can we ask
on
you to stay on
the
the
death of the Christians.
Okay.
You already make the point for that,
No,
and
we're
then you
still
already
discussing.
expressed.
Do you
You
wanna move on?
already
Do you wanna
expressed.
move on?
You already expressed that if someone is criticizing Muhammad,
let's
that
sum it
should
up.
be
Let's
killed.
sum it up.
And guess
I-
what?
I
And
think-
guess
I
what?
think you already summed up.
And guess what? The preservation of the Quran, you're going to come with things that you think are evidences. We're going to say, we disagree. The Quran's preserved. So do you want to skip that conversation as well?
No, I want to dig into that. So what do you mean by the preservation of the
Well,
Quran?
how about this? How about you go to a scholar, right? Someone who studied it and he's got.
Yeah, but you expressed that you are
How
not
about you go
scholar,
to
but
that?
you are
How about
making
you
lots
not-
of
how about
comments
you not
on
come
the.
to layman, yeah? To layman. I'm a layman, I know that for certain.
absolutely, me too.
And ask him about the Quran and the preservation of the Quran. You know how complex of a question that is for him to answer.
And if I misunderstand, I apologize if it's an improper assumption. I believe you're Christian. Is that right?
Sorry, something just went into my eye.
That's okay. Is that right?
I'm Christian, yes.
Yes, okay. So it's really funny and ironic you discuss preservation of the Quran as a Christian.
Yes,
Because
yes.
if preservation is something that we hold dear, this is something that
Why do you hold
Hold
it
on.
there?
Because there's an ayah in the Quran that says Allah preserved the Quran for
So
us.
what does that mean?
Hold on, do you believe the Bible's preserved?
Yes.
I'm not jumping. You
I do. Yeah.
The fact-
And then I'm happy to talk about it. So what
No, hold on.
what do you mean? What do you mean when Allah states in 15:9 that Allah is going to preserve the book?
That one of the qira'ah of the Quran has been preserved in its entirety. Because we have
So-
10 qira'at, 10 variations of the Quran that were delivered to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu
Oh,
alaihi wasallam.
that's going back to Uthman.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Is that going back to Uthman, the 10?
No, it's not. It's going back to the Prophet directly, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him.
But
The
did he
Quran was
write anything down?
Actually, there's khilaf on that. Yeah, we have pretty
Wasn't it spoken?
Are you going to allow me to answer or no?
Sorry.
Okay. Did the Prophet himself write it down? Is that the question?
Yes.
No. He was illiterate. No, he did not write it down.
Yes. So.
Is that a
what-
condition for preservation?
Oh no, no. What happened then?
So I just gave you an answer. Did you write it down? Does that make it preserved or not preserved?
It's
I
there
said
in
the
my
answer.
memory,
It's in your memory, but it's preserved. Okay, so
but then my memory may be false.
Yeah,
yes,
but
so
it's just we're not relying on one person that's
So,
memorized it.
so can you?
Many
This is
people
what-
have
this
memorized
is- this- I'm sorry. I've been very careful because.
man, that's
I
a
was-
disgusting shirt, man. What's wrong
I
with
was.
you, man? That's-
I was. Don't go. You're jumping.
Imagine, I'm sorry, 1 second, please. Imagine I wore something that disrespected Prophet Jesus.
You do this. The moment when you say Jesus is prophet, that's already disrespect.
She promotes it. She promotes it in a video. You held up a picture of Jesus, Jesus alayhi salam, involved
So
in
that
in a
is you
sexual
just
act.
insulted. You just
That's
insulted
disgusting.
Jesus.
Yes.
Why? We said
You
Jesus
insult
was the
When the moment Jesus is alive, first of all, even according to Islam,
Yeah, okay.
he's not
upon
just
him.
a prophet. He's
You
not
insulted
just
your
a
own
prophet. The moment
He
you
said
say he's just a
Jesus,
prophet,
alayhi
he's a
salam. Where
prophet.
did he say he's a prophet? Number one, of
You,
course
you
we
say
believe
you
he's a
say
prophet.
you said he's prophet. According to the Bible, he's
sure.
more than that.
And we can
That's
debate-
I take
we
that
can
as an insult.
We
so
can debate the
we can
contextual argument of that.
we
You
can
saying that's
debate that.
blatant.
We
What's
can debate
wrong?
that.
Oh
It's
my
absolutely
God.
fine.
But
You're
you-
equating those two? You're
Listen.
equating the two things.
Yeah,
You know-
it's exactly the
Oh
same.
my God.
You expect respect. You expect respect.
I don't
for
want you to
and your
respect
beliefs.
me. I don't want
No,
you to
no,
respect
but you
me.
do.
My ideology is there to be critiqued, as well as your ideology is there
As a
to be
person.
critiqued. on the preservation of the Quran.
Wait.
So,
Your ideology is there to be critiqued?
yeah, as well as your ideologies.
Wait, so where's the foundational basis for that in the Bible?
No.
What's to be done with the people who criticize the Bible?
Let us reason together, God says. Come,
You're wearing
let
that
us
shirt.
reason together. My people are destroyed from their lack of knowledge, God says.
Okay,
So now,
and how many
on the
people were
preservation
killed
of the
by
Quran, on the
Christian
preservation
empires?
of the Quran,
You contradict yourself left and right and left and right and left and right.
so you don't want to talk about the preservation of the Quran.
Quite frankly, you're wearing an insanely disrespectful shirt in a place where it's supposed to be peaceful and have reasonable discussions. Do you think I'm supposed to be reasonable and happy with the discussion with you if you wear that
Yeah.
shirt? Yeah, I can't do that. I really can't.
Then walk away.
Thank you.
So just pick up on the preservation of the Quran. Mr. Muslim stated that 10 qira'ats, only one of them is being preserved, and Muhammad knew which one was it. We wanted to break down because that was a full lie, but Mr. Muslim walked away. Apparently, feelings are sensitive at Speaker's Corner today.